Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Nick here from Ways of Wealth, week 25 of the market recap. If this is your first time here, we highlight key events that happened in the market over the past week. So if you learned something new, please give me a thumbs up. And if this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We do this every single week. We got a great episode lined up for you this week. We're going to be talking about the Freaky Friday that happened, the Quadruple Witching. We'll break that down. We'll explain a little bit about that. And we'll also talk about some important news that we got this past week of the gentleman that passed away after learning about his deficit in his account. And we'll break down the importance of practice and learning. All right, let's dive in. Everybody was on high alert on Friday as it was Quadruple Witching Day. Now, if you're not familiar with what that is, it's an event that takes place only 4 times a year. It takes place on the 3rd Friday of the months March, June, September, and December, which is essentially every quarter. Now, this is where you have 4 types of contracts. Okay, you have the single stock option, the single stock future, the stock index option, and stock futures simultaneously expiring, all on the same day. So those 4 contracts is where the word quadruple comes from, and the witching part comes from old folklore, where creatures of the night rain havoc on anything in their path. Now, essentially what is happening here is that investors are trying to decide what they're going to do with the contracts that will expire worthless today. Are they going to offset that position? Are they going to close out that position? Or are they going to roll out that position to a future date? Now, the first one that I mentioned is offsetting. And what you're doing is you're not taking delivery of the shares. You're going to execute a trade that was opposite of the contract to basically null and void. So you're going to cancel it out. Let's say you bought one option, one contract option, which is 100 shares of Apple, let's say. Well, what you would do to counteract that, to opposite it, is you would sell 100 shares of Apple in the market, which would cancel out the transaction. Now, by closing out the position, what that means is you are letting that option or that future expire worthless. So the only price that you lose is the premium that you paid for the option or the future. And the third and final is rolling out. And what you're doing is you offset the position, much like the previous example, but you also go and buy that same, whether it was call option, to expire at a future date. So you're just basically rolling it out or pushing it further into the future. Data compiled by Goldman Sachs showed a higher number than usual of contracts that needed to be adjusted. About 1.8 trillion shares of S&P index options were scheduled to expire worthless at the end of the day. Now, this is the 3rd largest volume of a non-December month ever in the history. So what that means is December is typically the highest. Well, this was scheduled to come in 3rd of non-December months. Estimates showed that 48 billion shares could trade hands in the rebalancing. Now, to put that into context, that is 30 billion more shares that happened in the second last quad witching, which occurred 6 months ago. Now, the precaution comes from the increased liquidity that's in the market that could cause drastic swings in the price. Each of the red circles located in the bottom portion of the graph indicate a quad witching day. And what you can see is a higher than normal volume is synonymous across the board. But when all is said and done, the scare came and went. This quad witching day was nothing like March, and volume ended up topping 18 billion. A majority of option contracts were way out of the money, and investors decided it was better to just close out those positions and let them expire worthless. Only 2 million index contracts were within 10% of where the underlying index trades. From the chart, you can see that this is the smallest amount in a decade and highlights how quickly the stock market recovery has left many hedge positions useless. If history repeats itself, get ready for a potential pullback or a wider trading range for this following week in the market. Since 1994, June expirations have led to the following week stocks falling 88% of the time, and the S&P index falling about 1.2% on average. The investing world received some tragic news this week with the news of Alex Kearns taking his own life because of a negative account balance in his trading platform Robinhood. Alex was home for university, spending time with his family, and decided to take up investing like many other young people have done. He put in a hedge position, so a call option and a put, but I guess did not understand completely what he was doing, or the story isn't fully out, whether it was a glitch, an error in the system, but it showed a negative $730,000 balance, which caused him to ultimately take his life. Now, where I want to stem importance on this is the fact that it is very important that we learn and we practice at any potential time we can. Now, options can be very beneficial. They can help you get into stocks at prices that you want, and it can also help limit downside risk. But what I want to stress is it's important to practice and put these strategies at play before you put your hard-earned money at risk. Now, what is down below is a link to Questrade, which is a trading platform. And the reason that I like it best is it provides a practice account that's live for 90 days. So it gives you a taste, it gives you an opportunity to put the strategies that you've learned into the market and to see what the positive and negative implications are. And obviously it's fake money, so you're not losing what you've worked so hard to get. And that's all this week for the market recap. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Again, if you learned something new, please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. It helps me grow. Make sure to subscribe, turn that notification bell on because we do this every single week. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'll throw that on the side here. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week on the markets. Happy trading.